Okay, I'm by myself now. Alright, so we're getting ready to put this thing back together. So this was the original crank that she was going to use. I don't know if it was coming out of the bike or not, but anyway, it's got a lot of wear on the pinion shaft right here, and it had some problem with the alternator or compensator over here on the splines that chewed it all up. So the rod set was a little bit looser, but the crank itself was a lot worse condition. This is the flywheel we took off. It's got a bunch of rust on it, so he didn't like that. He liked my flywheel because I stupidly showed him my flywheel was like new. So he's going to snag mine, of course, which is no big deal because I don't really care. These aren't worth squat anyway. So we got two nice looking wheels. See, his shaft's not all torn up through here. You can see marks, but you don't really feel them, so it's pretty good condition actually. So I've mixed and matched flywheel halves before with no issues, so we should be all right on all these things doing this stuff. So we have to put the right side wheel on first because that has the oil hole down there that we have to line up with our crank pin that we marked over here. So we're going to press that in. So now I don't think I need to have this here anymore. So I'm going to pull this and move it. It's nice and light too. So we're going to use my smaller bearings, which gives us a half thou more clearance. So we should wind up with hopefully about a thou clearance on the rods. I'm not sure. I have no real way of measuring this big rod yet. So it's pretty much you kind of pig in a poke until it works. Mix and match components. See, I used to have a tripod. Somebody snagged it. It's way down here. Figures. Anyway, I rebuilt the heads here earlier. Didn't show that on video, so yeah, I didn't really rebuild them. Clean them up. So someone else cut the valves and reused them slightly. Then they had it polished. We wound up taking a set of heads apart that had the wrong valves in it. They were 5/16. These are 7mm, so it didn't work. But it did have an aftermarket spring set in there, which might be a manly set, I don't know. These are all collars and keepers here. But this is for 5/16 stem, so it didn't work. So we went and got another set of heads that are laying over here. So we got a stack of crappy heads here now. Well, one of the heads he did had a loose valve guide in it too, which was really fun. What was this one here? Yeah, there. Was that making noise? Yeah, it had a loose head. So we went home and found another set of heads. So we took the valves out of this set of heads here, and springs and stuff. And then I didn't want to use the springs. These springs were 10 pounds heavier at coil bind, but when you checked them at when they were installed and a little bit of lift into them, there was 80-pound difference in tension between this spring and that spring. So that means at full lift they had about the same tension, but your seat pressure and your initial valve spring coming up the lobe on your ramping was about 35% stronger tension-wise, which is quite a bit. So he was having problems breaking rocker arm stands all the time, probably because he was floating the valve with wimp springs. So these are stronger ones. The problem is the collars did not match the spring. There was 25 thou too thick. Over here, inside of there. So see how this one moves around a lot? Because this spring has a smaller hole in it than this spring had. So what I did was I took the collars and I put them in a lathe and I turned them down right there on that shoulder and made them fit in the stock spring, or fit in that spring there. So that gave me the collars and keepers I needed, and then we got the heavy duty springs, so I made a kit. So instead of buying stuff, we make it. So there you go, that's how you save money. Makes me work more time, but oh well, nobody cares about my hours. So anyway, we got heavy duty springs in there. I shimmed them up a little bit, so we got 600 lift potential. The cam's going to be about 550 or 70 or something, but anyway, he's got a couple to choose from, so it's going to be a mid-lift cam. So he's good to 600. Probably squeeze another 10 or 15 if we had to, but that's pretty much what we're clearance for. So they're jacked in with some decent tension on them, so you should be running pretty good. The problem we're going to run into, though, these are not 110 heads, and it's a 110 motor now, so his compression is going to go way the hell up. Which these guys like doing. I don't recommend it, but we like doing it. Alright, well anyway, that's how that all goes. So. And of course I reground the valves and back cut them and did my normal deal in here on this, which you can't really see in there. I did a triple cut on the intake valve. But, I wonder if I'm getting dirt over there. I'm putting dirt on my head. Yeah, dirty workbench. Anywhere else here in grit. So you can't have clean parts in a dirty bench. That means you got dirty parts on a dirty bench. Alright, anyway, you missed a couple hours of work there. Oh well, too bad. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start putting this together and figure all this junk out around here. So, let's go see what we're going to do here. It's been a few years since I've done a whole crank because I hate these pieces of crap. They ain't worth doing all this work. Buy a good crank. Alright, this thing's heavy. Don't drop that on your toe, it might hurt. Okay, probably got something flat to work again, so let's see, probably need to spread that out a little bit. Okay, we need a right side flywheel. Okay, it looks like the oil hole is dead center. See, it's right here, even coming right up the center. I'm going to go ahead and mark it, and I'll mark this here over here now instead of where I did it. I just got to make sure I line everything all up when I'm doing it. The more marks you do, the better. You don't want the oil hole to be plugged. Could be a bad problem if you do that. Okay, so mark the flywheel. Go ahead and mark the crank pin also right here. Might as well mark it on that side too, just in case you're too stupid to see it. And we are stupid around here. So we got mark, 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 and mark. Where's Mark? Okay, so basically we just take this and line it up like that. And just come down and squeeze the piss out of it. Put it back together. Okay, make sure everything lines up good. Here's the oil hole is going in the right spot. So very important that you're doing that. And then we're going to put a little tension over here on the crank. There's 5 tons we want to. I got 5 tons of pressure in my arm. Yeah, great. Maybe I need more than that to put together. Let's see, this one only took what, 15 to bring apart? 17 I think that popped out. I think that's what we had. Alright, let's see what it takes to assemble. 5 right now, 7, recenter, 7, 8, almost 8, oh, there we go, 15, it must be all the way down, there, what's 25 tons, there we go. So it didn't take much going in. Alright, so that's all where you want it to be like that. So it should be flush on this side, I'm assuming. And it is. There you go. Nice and flush over there, see? Of course I don't have a mark here, but there's no hole. holes on this side. Alright, and there's a big hole going all the way through. That's an oil leak. Okay. Let's see, I need the washers to go in here. Somebody stole those and used them for tools. I wonder who that was that did that. Yeah, they're laying over here right now. Yeah. I wonder if they'll come off. Oh yeah, perfect. Bingo. I got another crank to rebuild, so we might need these again. I got to clean these up a little bit. There, that's a little bit, right? Maybe a little better than this. That's a start cleaning anyway. Alright, so now we gotta get those a little bit. Drop my oil. Okay. So now we're going to put these in. Clean them a little better in a little bit. So now these are nice and clean, hopefully. Cleaner. Okay, we got a camera out. Okay, these are going to go over here. Let's see if I go over on this angle, you might be able to see better. Don't know. You see me better. We don't care about me though. Okay. So you want a little bit of oil right there. Drop our washer down, doesn't matter which way it goes. This side's worn, so this is the new side. We'll put this side up. Boom. I'm going to lubricate this up a little bit. Try to stay off the taper up there, dumbass. Actually, that's not a taper, it's just a press fit. Okay. A little bit of oil, not a heavy amount. Okay, we're going to use these bearings here. So we got one. That one goes in the middle. Like that. Put a fair amount of oil on here. Okay, rods. Okay, these are bushing rods. The other set was the non-bushing rod, which came out later on. I'm not sure what year they went to non-bushing rods, but here's the non-bushing rods. Now S&S told me that there was 9 thou difference between a early rod and a late rod. That accounts to about 1/3 of a point of compression. So, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they claim. I guess they know stuff like that, I don't know. Like I said, we're going to have a problem with compression on this bike because it's got small heads on it. So it will definitely be more than 9-to-1. I'm going to try to keep it under 10.5. I would like to, but they're going to probably want to keep it closer to 11. But whatever. Don't blame me when it blows up. The head gaskets don't like 11-to-1 around here. Tends to make them go boom, boom, boom and leak. Alright, so There's our rod set. Okay, that's the right side wheel, which means the rear rod is the rear. So that goes on there like that. No hammer or press needed right now. We have clearance, just like we're supposed to. Good deal. And we got the other washer to put on. We'll put the good side down again. Boom. Don't forget to put that in there. It's kind of important. Try to keep off the taper with the oil. Just put a little bit on there. It'll work its way around. Okay. Now for the fun part. You gotta put the other side on straight. How do you do that? Carefully. Okay. You want to make sure that the block is right underneath the crank pin, so pressure goes right to the table and not caulking something. Don't go off half cocked around here. Okay, I gotta go over here and find my other tool. Might resemble this. It's on a trash can. It's an alignment tool. Wipe all the dirt off. See how it's been used? Okay, so this goes over the flywheel. It allows you to line the crank up. Goes like that. So when you push the crank down, it semi-lines things up. Not perfect, but better than nothing. I tried a bunch of other things to do them, didn't work very well. This works the best. Still not very good, but it works. So now we just put this inside of it. It will self-center to a certain extent. Goes in there nice and snug, as you can see. Yeah. Nice and snug. Okay, we're a little on the tall side here, so I think this is going to have to be done different. We have to get this to go inside of here first. So the first thing I do is get this thing to go inside of here. Appears to be tight. Alright, do this over here a little bit. Let's see here. Okay. Tight fit. Alright. Appears to be pretty tight over there. Oh, you weren't watching. How far that goes on before it touches, but it's getting there. Okay. Appears to be about 5/8 of an inch up in the air still. Nothing all the way up. It is now. Okay, looks like I should be able to put this in a stand here. possibly straight up in the air. Oh, that one fell off. There it fits. Perfect. Ah! Blood blisters. Yeah, gotten away. Injuries. We can sue now. Make money. That hurts. Hey, right there. Which one's bigger? This one's bigger. Okay, so you there, you there. Doesn't like going down. It's tight. Right now it's caulking on me a little bit, so massaging going on. This is not enough pressure. A little friendly persuader, a little lead. There we go. That does the trick. Okay, so we got about a finger more to go down yet. Get a little easier. Just kind of work it down a little bit. So my problem is I can't get on the center because I'm hitting on this. So this needs to be a little bit taller. We need a little bit more height than we got here. So we're just going to get another block to stuff in there. There, it just fits. Alright, now we can get over the center where it belongs. You want to push on the center of the pen. Well, line up everything as best you can. See the crank pin's right below it down there now. Pretty lined up. When it goes down, it's going to want to find its own spot. It's going to have to, obviously. So put that back over the center. So you just move it down and go crunch, crunch, crunch. All right, let's try this again. Okay, it's not on the top of the pen right now. There we go. See, it can move a little bit, see? Line it up. Try it again. Okay, it's going down now. It kicked the tripod. So now we're on top of the crank pin. It's going down a little bit. It started right now. So I give a couple of taps here to let it kind of self-center. This is loosening up a little bit too. So now it's starting to go down. So the alignment is coming in closer. So we can go down until we're flush. Should give us proper input and everything. If it doesn't, we'll have a problem. I'll have to push it apart. My finger hurts for some reason. I'm not sure why. Okay, that goes right over center. Push that in there like that a little bit. Alright. Now we start grunting over here. So my little light ass ain't enough to go down like this, see? Yeah, I'm only good for about that much pressure. Okay, we got this little tap over here, make sure it's halfway square. Yep, can't get in there with that, so take this little block of metal, stick it right there. Appears to be where it wants to be. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give it a good press now. So right now we are probably a little bit of a gap over there. I can't really see. You guys can, not me. The rods are still moving. That's a good sign. The rear rod is where it belongs. Always double check that before you're all the way in. Okay, I'm going to crank this thing up to high pressure. So I have to work so hard. Alright, so now we're going, see that's about 8 tons right now. There we go, we're starting to get pressure now, so up to 12. Okay, it's probably all the way down. We're going up. Alright, there's 24, 25 tons. So it's where it wants to be. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little love tap here just to make sure it's where it wants to be. The shock will help center things up a little bit. Give it one more. There we go. Kind of lets things kind of, when you press something together, it always wants to, so we want our tension. When you hit it, it kind of self-levels itself, neutralizes where it wants to be. And you can hear the clearance, not much, but it's in there. Okay. So we got 2 tons of pressure still, it's bleeding off. My press is getting old, it leaks. So it's got a leaker. It's a leaky press. Alright. Man, look at that flush. Alright. Good deal. Okay, now we're going to have to do something about our plugs. That'll be a whole nother problem. So, I probably should have dealt with these before I did the pressing, but these here need to be made slightly bigger by pushing on these a little bit, making it work. So what we're going to do, we have a nice pressing tool right here. We're going to use it. Nice stand right here. So we're just going to put a block on top of the press and we'll use that to press on. We're going to go ahead and expand out these plugs a little bit. At least that's the plan. Alright, so we're going to just go ahead and put that right there as a pressing block. Okay, so we're going to measure these, see how big they are right now. Looks like about 893. Yeah, pretty even. 893, 892. This one's 890. 892. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take this, which is pretty close to the size of the hole. It's not going to go inside of it. Hopefully not anyway. That'd be a problem if it does. see, actually you should never push in the center of the plug. You don't really want to press in the center of a plug because that's how it gets bigger. Push through the nut right here. See how this works. Stuck on there. It's going sideways. There you go. Beat it a couple times, it comes off. Let's see if we got bigger than 92. Oh, we're up to 95. 98, 91. That's not good. We don't want to be at 91. 90. That's the wrong direction. Alright. I think I need to make an actual tapered plug to do this, but I haven't done that yet. So this is not quite what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna go see, maybe I'll make up something real quick. We'll be back.